So Jay, like you're in this peptide space now. You've made a pivot into peptides exclusively because obviously you see that there is a future
Massive,
here.
yeah.
And not just a financial future for yourself.
Of course, helping the world.
Literally impacting the world through being able to do this kind of stuff. And BioLongevity Labs, okay, relatively new company.
Yep, 6 months old.
Yep, 6 months old company that has actually, kind of stormed the industry.
Stormed the industry, yeah.
And coming up with stuff that's not been there before and revolutionizing peptides. But more important, peptides already existed.
Yes.
You're educating people about peptides, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and honestly, true story, and again, you and I have already talked about this, but I was one of the biggest affiliate salespeople in the world for peptides for the last 3 years. Shout out to Limitless Life Nootropics, great company, still makes great peptides, but the owners got into an argument, and so each owner wanted to make me their other partner. So I was like, I gotta move. And obviously, yeah. So my business partner, obviously Hunter Williams, shout out to Hunter. Him and I spoke today. Amazing guy. We're like, let's build our own. We already had a CTO who was, by the way, the CTO of other peptide companies. And so we knew we had the technological infrastructure to build it. We're basically attempting to get into the marketplace ourselves. And as you know, credit card processing is not easy with research peptides and bioregulators and all this stuff. And again, it's a very nebulous world, but we also knew that RFK was coming in, right? This is literally after Trump had been elected. We knew that RFK was pro-peptides. He was pro-alternative therapies. So we just basically partnered with, again, Trina Felber's husband, Josh Felber, who's a good friend. Shout out to Josh. Been a long-time friend of mine, and he had credit card processing, and he had know-how in the business, and he wanted to get into the bioregulator space. So we just basically combined forces, and here we are 6 months later. And you're right, dude. Like, everything has been in the right place at the right time. Again, no coincidences, only synchronicities. But we are making transformative formulations. We are building products. So just to sidetrack, or just rabbit hole for a second here. Like, I always had a goal in my life to build the Amazon for biohackers, right?
Oh, that's fun.
So it's always been in the background of my mind, like, how could I build a company with products that could serve the globe and would always be at, like, literally the tip of the spear. And so that's what this company is now. So everything that we've manufactured from a standpoint of USA made peptides, we don't have brawls coming from China. Everything is literally now synthesized either in our labs in Philadelphia or Florida. There are some brawls that come out of China that, you can't get around because of where they're based at, but we're synthesizing the majority of our products in the United States. So in addition to that, we also have, obviously, as you know, Cavinson bioregulators. And now we're getting into our own exclusive batch formulations, which again are all in the United States. And I'm telling you, Mark, I mean, again, you already know some of our formulations. We are coming out with stuff that will literally revolutionize the business, from the buccal peptide strips to a hair regrowth product that will, no doubt about it, regrow hair on a bald head.
Oh, that's
amazing. It's a very powerful peptide
How
formulation.
about gray hair? Does it deal
Kitchen
with that
sink,
too?
it will darken hair 100%. So
that's my issue.
Yeah. So I mean, this product, so we can't really market that it will darken gray hair, but it's kind of I wouldn't call it a side effect, but it's a positive beneficial effect of regrowing hair. You actually get darkening of the roots.
I just think
so.
The roots,
the roots will get darker and thicker. So if you're naturally black, you'll get darker black. If you're naturally brown, it'll probably be a thicker shade of brown. And that's normally what happens with, like, a kitchen sink peptide hair regrowth product. But this is the first one of its time or of its kind, excuse me. And I can definitely tell you this: we don't even know what the formulation is going to cost us from an actual manufacturing material cost. But I know that it'll be so expensive that probably a 45 to 90 day supply of this is going to be $1,000. But as you know, that's nothing in comparison to a hair transplant, right?
For sure.
So most men and
you're going
women,
like head to head with turkey right now.
Exactly. But most men and women will buy this product because even if you did have a hair transplant, it'll strengthen the follicles. It'll strengthen the roots of the actual follicles that have been grafted. And then another one, just to mention, we have a rejuvenation product coming. And this rejuvenation product is going to be a game changer too. Everything that we put into our formulations is stuff that I've thought about for literally years of my life.
Yeah.
That I always said in my mind I wanted to create a company, and I own the domain. It's called True Health, even though that's just going to be like one of our parent companies is the True Health parent. But
pretty cool.
I wanted to, like, again, just think True Health. I wanted to build the best for everyone. Because as you know, it's always been limited. Most people in Europe and Asia can't even get peptides now. They can't. Australia outlaws peptides, right? So I wanted to make something that would be manufactured in the United States and shipped globally without issue. And so that's what we're working on. And I can tell you this right now, we're going to be the first company to go into India with peptides.
That's cool. Congratulations
2 billion,
on that. That's
2 billion
huge.
people there.
Yeah, that's
You know,
huge.
and they're desperate, and they have, you know, most men in India are skinny fat, inflamed, metabolically deranged, low testosterone. So it's a perfect trial market to really optimize the health of people, because again, in India, they're a first world country, but they're basically a second world society.
Yeah.
And so they're attempting to, you know, the way it works in India is, if you bring something into India, it has to be manufactured in India, but it has to say it has to say made in the USA by on the label, but it has to actually be made in India. That's how it works. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
it has to be
crazy.
an American company, but it has to be actually made in India, because you can't get anything through the Ministry of Health.
Yeah,
it has to be
that
made
makes
on the
sense.
ground in
That
India.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And what I love about what you're doing with your formulas, and I encourage you to continue doing that just for the sake of consumers, is, as we said, peptides is this wild, wild west.
Yes.
And when you're talking about doing stacks and pens,
Exactly.
and where this kind of stuff exists, I think that's a missing component. I mean, you'll find like a CJC and an ipamorelin compound
Yes.
and that type of stuff,
Yes.
but it's still a lost art.
It is.
That
It
people
is.
understanding. Like, I own a supplements company that we deliberately do vitamin stacks that affect specific systems of the body.
course,
Like if you're having digestive systems, like
Yes.
this is the one you take,
Yes.
and it covers all of the things for that. And this is a cardiovascular, and this is the,
Yes.
because people want simplicity. People don't want to know that, okay, I need to go take 1 vitamin A and I need to go take 2 vitamin C's, and I'm gonna have to take half a capsule of zinc, and and they don't know what to buy. They don't know how to dose, and I don't blame them, right?
Yep.
Because for most of the stuff, I don't think I would be able to spout off exactly what they need. But the truth of the matter is I happen to know that we've got one of the best digestive support products I've ever used.
Yep.
And it's like, and literally, like if my stomach is feeling weird or I'm feeling bloated or anything, like
Yep.
recommended dose 2, I take 4.
Yep.
Nothing.
That's
like
awesome.
literally goes away, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And it's all vitamin mineral based.
Yeah, of
like so
course.
nothing's there. But the simplicity is, I think, what makes it magical, because I don't have to go take 6 different things.
Exactly.
I don't have to figure out one of these, 2 of these, 3 of those. And if you're doing that exact same type of thing with peptides, where the stacks are existing, and here's the outcome, go do this.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we have a product called BioGut Pro, which is without a doubt class-leading microbiome, dysbiosis issue peptides. It's got 6 peptides, and then it has 3 absorption enhancers in the peptides. So,
Right.
and again, I already talked about it, but I'll mention it. Like, traditionally, most people realize that injectable is the highest impact delivery system versus oral, but oral delivery systems are clearly now improving technologically. And if you understand, like you said, how to blend them, how to synergistically mix them together, you can actually put stability agents and absorption agents in the blend that'll actually enhance the efficacy of the product. So again, the good news from us, and again, like I've spent so much time thinking through this, and we do have some formulators that are amazing too. Shout out to Alex Kickle. We think a lot before we make stuff. We don't just like willy-nilly throw it all together because all of these different products have efficacy or have ergogenic effect. We sit there and we think, okay, like, are there going to be cross-chain reactions? Are there going to be stability issues? What you mix, this chemical with this molecule, and so all of our products are really thought out, and we don't release anything unless we know there's not going to be any long-term issues. Like, I'll just tell you this one, nobody even knows this is coming, but we have a product called BioAbsorb, and it's going to be the first of its time. It's going to be metformin, dihydro-berberine, which is, berberine, that's the most advanced form of berberine, and inositol, along with the B spectrum, because as you know, in a lot of people that have the polymorphic gene expression, metformin can deplete folate and deplete methionine. So like this supplement exactly will tackle all the issues of blood glucose, insulin sensitivity, and glucose disposal, but in a way that nobody who is sensitive to one of the agents in the I mean, it's a blend, and it's technically a supplement, even though there are drugs in it, will be, what's the word I want to say? Maligned, because we've addressed every single cofactor.
Yeah, which is great. And again, I'll go back to, I'm always looking at what does the consumer see.
Yeah, of course.
Right? That's always my optics on everything.
Sure.
Is how does that market, and how do people actually sell that? And again, it's make it easy.
Yes.